The time was 5:20 a.m. Early. Phoenix, Sky Harbor Airport. About 115 degrees at 5:20. I'm standing in line at the TSA checkpoint, kind of excited to make my 6 a.m. flight, when this woman in front of me refuses to take off her shoes to go through the X-ray machine. I looked at her. I'm a consultant. I can help. I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, "Ma'am, this shoe stuff is not a new change. It's been around for like 6 years now. We all got to take off our shoes." She looked at me, stuck her finger out, poked me in the chest and said, "I've had surgery on my feet and I'm not taking off my shoes. Back off it." This was funny, but it would have been funnier if she was behind me, not in front of me. We finally got her coached into those blue surgical booties, pushed her on through the X-ray machine, but she had made such a scene that TSA, which stands for thousands standing around, decided that she would be an excellent candidate for secondary inspection. They called her over, put her bag on the stainless steel table, took out the magic wand, put in the doily, ran it around their zipper, but here was the problem. They picked the slowest TSA agent they could find. He walked over to the bomb sniffing machine, put the doily in, and started rocking himself back and forth as he watched. I saw it. He got a green light. We're good. He just kept rocking back and forth. Finally took the doily out, put it back in the wand, opened up her zipper, pulled out one of her shoes. And I'm thinking, not her shoes. We already know she's got a thing about shoes. Don't do the shoes. He wands her shoes, walks back to the bomb sniffing machine, plugs in the doily, rocks himself back and forth, and she is about ready to lose it. He gets the doily back, puts it back in, starts rummaging through her bag, and she looked at him and said what I would call the unthinkable. She looked at this guy and said, "You know, if there was a bomb in my bag, you're so slow it'd probably go off before you found it." Which really is the equivalent of personal foul, unpassenger-like conduct, taunting of a TSA agent. You're going to go to tertiary inspection. She found out at Phoenix Sky Harbor they have a special room for people just like her. It was kind of the end of my experience with her. It was kind of funny. Until 7:03 a.m., I'm on final approach on a U.S. Airways 737 when they notify our pilot that we have a bomb threat on board. This crazy woman had checked in one bag. We were proud to be flying with that. Taken through the other bag, they had that. They took us down to the west end of the runway. They wouldn't even let us go to the terminal. Let's just minimize the damage out there. Called in the Metro Arson Strike Team and this bomb-sniffing French poodle named Shadow, who after 3 hours of sniffing could not conclusively confirm her bag didn't have a bomb, so they submerged it in water and they blew it up. Oh, I wish the story ended right there. It gets better. The next morning, I'm flying out to Las Vegas, got my USA Today, and I got to read about this woman. She was a psychiatrist in Phoenix on her way to San Diego to give a speech at the San Diego Convention Center. 24 years of experience as a psychiatrist. And it was on that very day that I learned this. Your level of education and your number of years of experience have absolutely zero correlation between your ability to deal with a change. Let me give you a helpful hint. When you go through the airport and you meet one of those TSA agents, as frustrating as it can be, I got 2 words to expedite your process. They go like this. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Those 2 words will help you make it through the other side. But I love that experience because it's one of the great real-life experiences of watching people. It's a great question. How many in here don't like to be told what to do? I'm one of those. I don't like to be told what to do by my wife. I don't like to be told what to do by my kids. And I don't like to be told what to do by my boss. But I also know this. In life, my favorite question is, what's your goal? I wanted to call this woman and talk to her. I actually talked to her staff and said, I want to interview you for my next book. And her staff says she won't talk to you unless you tell her what the questions are in advance. I said, it's a real simple one. I just want to know what your goal was at the airport. Because if your goal was to miss your flight, get to San Diego 9.5 hours late, miss your speech and buy all new clothes when you got there, you were incredibly successful. If that wasn't your goal, borrowing from some different behaviors would help us.